Welcome to the very first edition of the Reviewing Network Talks About. This is basically a continuation of the My Take On blog post that I've been doing over on the website for the last 12 years. I've stopped doing them recently, basically to focus on these video discussions pretty much, because I feel like I can get more by doing these video discussions out of doing those regular blog posts that I do over there, talking about various things. This is basically where we talk about different things. We'll talk about movies, television, some news stories, some things that were just things that are on my mind that I kind of want to get off on my chest. So, we're going to start this off with something that I've been wanting to do for a long time in video form. I've had my favorite movies on the website for a number of years now, but I've wanted to do it in video form for a number of years. There was actually going to be a thing last year where I was going to do my top 30 favorite movies all throughout the month of November, and it was just a little bit too late for me to do all of them in time to get all 30 together for the month, so I held off on it. I decided to focus it onto another time period, and I figured now's the time to do that. So for the first 30 weeks of this show, we're going to be talking about my favorite movies of all time. We're going to talk about each week I'll talk about a specific movie from my list that I have here, and just basically spend the whole episode talking about the movies on the list. It's going to be once every week. So for 30 weeks straight, we're going to be talking about my favorite movies of all time. That's what's going to kick off these first 30 episodes of this new show, the Reviewing Network Talks About. So, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Let's talk about my 30th favorite movie of all time. And honestly, my 30th favorite film kind of goes back and forth between two different movies from pretty much the same people, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. For the longest time, it was the Lego Movie. And then when this movie that I'm about to delve into came out, it really kind of, it changes. It's one month it's a Lego Movie in this spot. The next is this other movie we're going to be talking about. But I'm going to save the Lego Movie conversation for when the film comes out for its 10th anniversary. I'll delve more into that in 2024. But my 30th favorite film of all time is Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, which is the film that came out in 2018. It focuses on Miles Morales, and it's the film that has some of the most... It's just an amazing film to really... It's like, if you haven't seen this movie already, you are doing yourself a major disservice by not seeing it. But just to kind of run down the premise of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, basically you have Miles Morales, played by Shameik Moore. He essentially becomes the Spider-Man of his universe when the Peter Parker of this universe, played by Chris Pine, ends up getting killed by the Kingpin, played by Lee Schreiber. And so, as the story goes along, he must join with 5 different spider-powered individuals, including another Peter Parker from another dimension, played by Jake Johnson. You also have Gwen Stacy, played by Haley Steinfeld. A Spider-Man Noir, played by Nicolas Cage. Penny Parker, played by Kimiko Glenn, who you may know now as the voice of Baby Shark and also on Close Enough. And Spider-Ham, played by John Mulaney. And this is all going on, and you have all these different elements going into the story, but especially between Miles and his parents, his father, played by Brian Tyree Henry, and Luna Lauren Velez, who definitely gets more screen time in the second film, but his mother does. And you also have the story going on with Uncle Aaron, played by Mahershala Ali, who Miles is very close to. And you have all these other storylines going on involving Aunt May, played by Lily Tomlin, Catherine Hahn playing Doc Ock. Just a lot of people in this movie Natalie Morales is a name you might be familiar with. Oscar Isaac plays Spider-Man 2099 in the post-credits sequence. You also have Greta Lee, Zoe Kravitz as Mary Jane. I mean, there's just so many different voice actors involved in this film. And yeah, basically, the premise of this is that these 5 different Spider-Men from 5 different universes come together to help this kid named Miles get them back to their respective timelines, and to stop Kingpin from taking over the world, and also trying to get his family back, which they keep trying to tell him that this isn't going to work out for you. This isn't going to work out for you, and so he has to go through this whole thing. And you know, once in a while, a movie comes along that is just so perfect on nearly all levels, from its visual style to the great storytelling to the great characters, to just continuing to show why going to the movies can be so special. And this is definitely one of those movies. I remember when this movie came out, I was in love with it instantly. I had not seen a movie that perfect on all fronts in a long, long time. That was a film that really had no flaws to it whatsoever. It's a perfect movie on so many fronts. And really, where do you start with? Where do you really start off with the praise you're going to give this movie? And I'd say start with the animation. I mean, the marketing that came out a year before this, I was already hooked. The animation looked gorgeous from the get-go. I had no idea that as each new trailer came out, it would keep continuing to look better and better, and how many unique animation styles they would throw in there. And it breaks new grounds at how many forms of animation they managed to cram in here, and it works incredibly well. I mean, you take a look at where we are now, 5 years later. You have movies that are using the same similar style, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and they're making it their own thing. It's making it unique, but not copying the same formula that made Into the Spider-Verse work as well as it does. It reminded me of the animation styles in both the Peanuts movie and The Little Prince, which are films that don't get the respect that they do for what they did in terms of pioneering this new style of animation, but you could definitely tell that those people were took a look at those movies and got an idea of how to make this film work. And there was a lot of animators on board with this, and their work showed big time in this film. The visuals are impressive too. There's just something about bringing a comic book to life on the big screen in such a unique and really clever way that really I had not seen done before at that point. The voice cast overall is very good. I haven't seen a movie like this where I wanted to see more of these characters in different spin-off properties. Like I said, Shameik Moore plays Miles Morales. He's great in this. He was also in one of my favorite movies from the past decade, which was dope. So I was really looking forward to seeing what he'd do here, and I thought he did a fantastic job. Jake Johnson is great playing the Peter Parker of the other universe. Haley Steinfeld is great as Gwen Stacy. Nicolas Cage is pitch perfect as Spider-Man Noir. John Mulaney's great as Spider-Ham. Kimiko Glenn as Penny. As I mentioned before, Lily Tomlin as Aunt May. Liev Schreiber as Kingpin. Mahershala Ali. Byron Tyree Henry. Lauren Velez. Chris Pine. Oscar Isaac. Catherine Hahn. Zoe Kravitz. Lake Bell. Jorma Taccone. Just it's exceptional cast given the strong performances all around and making it work on all fronts. I really want to see spin-offs from most of these characters. And the second movie is just another thing that kind of is elevating that to another level, where I want to see spin-offs of all those characters too. But we'll delve into that in just a second. But the script really is written well, and there's so much going on. They cram in a lot of stuff for you, but there's never any point in the film where it feels like there's too much going on or it feels cluttered. Everything feels legitimate. Everything feels well done. I like the way it balances out the comedy and the dramatic moments. They balance it out where it never feels forced. They don't go on too long, and they do a great job of avoiding going into cliches that you would expect to see from this type of story. Every moment feels genuine and not forced. I like the end credits sequence where they have Spider-Man 2099 doing the Spider-Man meme with the 60s Spider-Man, and that was really one of the biggest laughs of the movie when I saw it for the first time. Not a lot of people give Sony Pictures Animation the proper respects they deserve. They're kind of in the same area that Warner Animation Group was back then. I mean, they made these really good movies that not a lot of people really got to see, and I think they are one of the more underrated animated studios out there. They make a ton of great things like Surf's Up, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Arthur Christmas, the Hotel Transylvania movies, and very rarely they make bad stuff, with the obvious exception of the Smurf movies and the Emoji Movie. But that movie was probably their best work to date, but that has since been surpassed by what they just did with Across the Spider-Verse, which Across the Spider-Verse is another film that's going to be really contending with the Lego Movie and Into the Spider-Verse in that number 30 category for a long time, because I love Across the Spider-Verse maybe even more so than I do Into the Spider-Verse, and that says a lot because of what they were able to accomplish there. It's still my favorite movie of the year, 2023 so far, and it just goes to show how animation is just kicking the ever-loving crap out of live action right now. Like, live action can't really compete with what animation's been bringing to the table, and I think a lot of people don't want to accept that fact. But movies like this, Across the Spider-Verse and now Into the Spider-Verse, are proving that animation is not a force to be messed with. And it really is one of the best animated movies I've seen in a long time, one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. I can't remember another movie, not since the Lego Movie, where I've been so in love with a film as I had with that one. And just hit all the right cylinders. It's a masterpiece on so many levels. If you have not seen this movie, you need to go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, at this point, you have to have seen it by this point. If you saw Across the Spider-Verse, you kind of had to have seen Into the Spider-Verse. But if you're that one person out there that has not seen Into the Spider-Verse, stop this video. Actually, don't even stop it. Go to the end of this video, then go watch Into the Spider-Verse, and you will have a much better life after that. I will tell you that. But, so yeah, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my number 30 favorite film of all time. So, like I said, we're going to be doing this every week for the next 30 weeks. Next week will be number 29 on my list. If you don't want to wait to see what the video is, go to the website and look for the favorite movies there, and you'll see which ones I have there. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just kind of rambling on right now. But, like I said, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my number 30 favorite film of all time. If you've seen it, I'm pretty sure you have. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think it's one of your favorite movies of all time, too? I certainly hope so. But, that's the first episode of the Reviewing Network Talks About. Go ahead and hit the playlist to check out some other videos I've done beforehand. Hit the like and subscribe button. And also hit the like and subscribe button on the Reviewing Network Live to see a new episode every Sunday of our podcast. Definitely check it out. I will see you guys next time for the next video. So until then, take care.